Usborne really knows how to do nonfiction books. I'm going to dive into the flap books and kind of explain how they work for different kiddos, which books would be appropriate for your kiddos' ages, and explain why the flaps really help with keeping your kids engaged and on the page longer and retaining the information, and it kind of makes it fun, and so they're not even realizing that they're learning. Okay, here we go. So these are a collection of flap books, and I've kind of arranged them sort of by age and style of flap book, and I'll give you a quick preview of what they are inside. So when you look for Little Lift and Look, these would be for newborns through toddlers. They have a single gatefold flap, one per page. They may be on different edges, so they have to search for it. These can be propped up as well. Super colorful, engaging books. We have a Lift the Flap, Play Hide and Seek. These also have a single large flap per page, and you're playing hide and seek and looking for all the different animals. The Usborne Lift and Look with flaps have these cardstock thicker pages. In this book in particular, you're looking for this little rabbit on every page, so it's also a look and find book, but it has these little cutouts here so you can easily grab and lift those flaps. And again, these are cardstock thick, sturdy pages. Also, for preschool age kiddos, we have the Busy Day series. These are flap books, but they are an action play book. So in each book, you're gonna have a character, their alarm is gonna go off, they're gonna have to get dressed, and then they're going to go to work. And so in this one, for the vet, who's first, hello Buster, and you go through their day. And so kiddos can interact and change the story and the illustrations as they lift the flaps. So this one's a super fun series. My preschooler absolutely adores every book in this series, and then they go home. Others in the series is The Chef. We like this one a lot because you get to add as much salt and pepper as you want and kind of act it out. A little more salt here, a little more pepper. There's also an astronaut, firefighter, and athlete. We also have a Step Inside Science, and this one is the Germs book. These have cutouts and flaps. So you're not gonna see too many flaps in this one, in this series. So you have some cutouts. There's quite a bit of text, more than the previous books I've shown so far, but this is a nonfiction book and it's not too much text compared to the ones for older kiddos. So I would say these would be great for preschool and early elementary. And then we go into our other flap book series. We have Lift the Flap Very First Questions and Answers, Lift the Flap First Questions and Answers, and Lift the Flap Questions and Answers. So I'm gonna show you a peek inside a couple of them so you can see how they differ. So again, these have maybe one or two flaps per page, not too much text per page, great illustrations, lots of questions for all those kids that have all the questions at that age. So this is again great for preschool aged kiddos as they get a little bit older, also for preschool or kinder, maybe even first grade. Lots of questions, a little bit larger in size. The book itself, you want to compare the size. And different topics in these, a little tiny bit more text per page. Again, still the flaps with this little cutout. I always recommend when you first get a flap book to go through and open all the flaps before giving them to your kiddos. This feelings book is super helpful. Why do we worry? What makes us scared? Dealing with our feelings. And then when we go to the Lift the Flap Questions and Answers about music, I would say this one is more for middle to upper elementary school ages. So first, second, third, fourth, even my fifth grader enjoys this one, this series. So even more text per page, larger book, more pages in general. So you can see the size difference as you go down in the series. Okay, so that's the very first questions and answers, first questions, and then the regular questions and answers. And then we have the Peek Inside, Look Inside, and See Inside series. So these are also a collection of flap books. Again, for the younger readers, you have books that have just a few flaps. This is Peek Inside a Fire Truck. And you can see here a large flap on each page, and you can see what goes on at the fire station. Several topics available. Again, for the books that are for younger readers, you'll also notice a curved edge here. Makes them a little bit safer. Peek inside the seashore. These also have some of the cutouts, like some of the other books earlier that we shared. And so these flaps are easier to grab onto for little fingers. Super fun, interactive books. These little cutouts on the edges, again, make them easier to grab onto and turn the page. Not too many flaps per page, not too much text per page, but the flaps help keep them on the page a little bit longer. And if they are a hands-on learner, the act of moving their hands and learning by lifting flaps and learning more information is going to help them retain the information as well. Then we have look inside, a next step up. I would say this is for elementary age kiddos. We have more text, more flaps. How fun is that? The tornado, and it explains the concept and how it works. Some more advanced topics as well. That's the Look Inside series, and we have a See Inside series. Now, I would say these are actually okay for about the same age kiddos. The Look Inside series has a little bit less text and flaps per page than the See Inside, but I actually kind of like the See Inside book, even for kiddos aged 5, 6, 7. I think it goes well together as a complementary book. And you can, again, see all the flaps. They complement each other well, and I don't necessarily feel like you have to wait till they're older to jump to the See Inside. I think these would be great for kiddos age 6, 7, 8, 9, and even my 10-year-old enjoys the See Inside books. Here's another See Inside book to give you an idea of what some of the other ones look like. This one kind of has glossier pages. And again, always lift every flap and kind of crease it along this edge here. So when your kiddos grab it, they will not accidentally crease it somewhere like in the middle of the flap. Okay, and then we have this series here, the regular old Lift the Flap series. So we have a few to show you an example. A very simple Lift the Flap, seasons and weather. Very minimal text per page. Early concepts, great for early literacy and learning those pre-reading skills. You can look for a butterfly, baby rabbits. Tells you a little bit about what you're looking at on this page. And it's a fun way to search and find in this book. I would say this is great for 3, 4, 5-year-olds, preschool age kiddos. And then Lift the Flap, measuring things. You can see the jump to more information, tougher concepts. This one's fun. You get a ruler that pops out and you can practice measuring. Again, different flaps, tougher concepts. And another Lift the Flap example, strongest, cleverest, deadliest, fiercest, hottest, loudest, smelliest. This is a fun one. Super engaging. Fun, fun, fun. Lots of great books. And if your kiddos are not quite ready for flaps, if you think they might destroy it, we do have some nonfiction books that have cool interactive features like these cutouts. You can see here. But they don't have flaps. So it's still engaging and fun and keeps them interested on the page a little bit longer and learning without even realizing it. Here's a Slide and See book. Again, no flaps. So we do have books without flaps if you are worried a little bit about if your kids are ready for those flaps.